which opened will be destroyed. This was the purpose of his broadcast of 30th day of May 2021, where he stated that he had an announcement to make regarding the shutdown of the entire Southeast. He stated exactly at 9 minutes 10 seconds in the broadcast contained in Exhibit PWW DOS, and I quote, "Tomorrow being the 31st day of May, there is complete lockdown, no church, no market, and nobody should be seen outside tomorrow. I do not want violence. I do not want anybody to resort to violence. I condemn it completely and totally. We do not want to spill the blood of the innocent. Therefore, I am urging restraint across board. I am urging our people to honor the memory of people who died. There will be no school, no church, market, banks, the complete shutdown. If you want to be alive, do not come out tomorrow." What I'm saying is that do not come out tomorrow. If you value your life, there will be complete shutdown of Biafra land tomorrow. Any community that allows vehicles to pass tomorrow will be in trouble. Anybody in any car or lorry except in ambulance will be in trouble. I know some people are very foolish, trying to open their shops around 12. If you open that very shop, we will burn you inside it. Especially Enugu, Umuahia, Abakaliki people. You are very stupid. Tomorrow we will show you, unquote. This statement at first sounded peaceful and even seems as if he was only persuading people to honor the memory of some people. However, the defendant, in his typical aggressive way of speaking, began issuing threats to those who might want to obey his order, that might not want to obey his order. The people of the Southeast are Nigerians, and I take judicial notice substantially are Christians who go to church, and merchants that are into trade, and there are children who were threatened against going to church, their places of business and schools. This court wonders if this can be said to be agitation for self-agitations. Unequivocally, I say no. The people of the Southeast of Nigeria are entitled to their right to personal liberty, freedom of movement under Section 35 and Section 41 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. The said section provides, and I quote, "Every person shall be entitled to his personal liberty, and no person shall be deprived of such liberty, save in the following cases and in accordance with the procedure permitted by law. A. In execution of the sentence and order of court in respect of criminal offence of which he has been found guilty. B. By reason of his failure to comply with the order of court and in order to secure the fulfillment of any obligation imposed upon him by law. C. For the purpose of bringing him before a court in execution of order of court or upon reasonable suspicion of his having committed a criminal offence. D. In the case of a person who has not attained the age of 18 years, for the purpose of his education or welfare. For contagious disease, person of unsound mind, person addicted to drugs or alcohol, vagrants for those people or purpose of those care or treatment. F. For the purpose of preventing the unlawful entry of any person to Nigeria, expulsion, extradition, or unlawful removal from Nigeria of any person or the taking of proceedings relating thereto. Provided that a person who is charged with an offence and who has been detained in lawful custody awaiting trial shall not continue to be kept in such detention for a period longer than the maximum period of imprisonment prescribed for him. Section 41 provides Every citizen is entitled to move freely throughout Nigeria, to reside in any part thereof, and no citizen of Nigeria shall be expelled from Nigeria or refuse entry thereby, or exit therefore. They are also entitled, unquote, they are also entitled to their right to freedom of religion as expressed under Section 38 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The right to personal liberty, movement, religion are complementary of each other. God jealously guides these rights, and they are basic rights which enough to them as being human beings. These rights are so fundamental. Kindly see, my Lord Agagu JCA has initiated on this in Okafor versus Lagos State Government and another citation supplied. The people of the Southeast cannot be ordered to sit at home by a person, especially for someone who is not a legally recognized official of the federal government or an official of any of the states. The only person entitled to restrict movement of persons within Nigeria is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria under emergency power under Section 305 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. The President can order for a coffee area where there is a crisis or natural disaster. The defendant is not the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, thus lacks any power to so declare a sit at home in any part of the country. The defendant arrogated to himself power to he lacks, and with the threat of violence, order the residents of the southeastern states to stay at home or face the consequences of their disobedience. This, which is subversive and amounts to nothing more than a terrorist act. It is also a notorious fact that the people of Southeast have been subjected to sit-at-home threats on Mondays for years now. PW4, who stated that he was stationed in the Southeast, especially in Imo State for some years, gave evidence that Monday sit-at-home is a usual occurrence wherein the town are deserted, even the farmlands. PW4 also gave evidence on the death of one Ahmad Goodluck, a former aide to the former President Goodluck Jonathan, that the said Ahmed Goodluck had been killed by airports meant in pursuant to the order of defendants. Ahmad Goodluck was trying to catch a flight out of Owerri on the 30th day of May 2021 when he ran into a checkpoint by airport and was shot dead. PW4 stated that he was one of those who got to the scene first. It must be noted that 30th of May 2021 was a Sunday, not a Monday. But notwithstanding, it leads to the death of a person trying to move around due to the directive of the defendant as shown in Exhibit PWK. Is a medical report from the Nigerian Police Medical Services, Owerri. The report is dated 18th July 2021 and it states, to whom it may concern, medical report. Late Ahmed Goodluck Ahmed, hospital number. The victim allegedly shot dead by hoodlums suspected to be IPOB/ECN members on 30th October 2021 at about 7 hours along Airport Road, Owerri. Picture of lifeless man seen, body of deceased buried, information. The above medical reports, duly signed by the medical practitioner, clearly states the immediate cause of the death of Ahmed Goodluck and links him to the defendant as leader of IPOB and ECN. The action of the defendant cannot be excused under any circumstances. The declaration of a sit-at-home without any constitutional power, especially the accompanied by the threat, is a terrorist act. The defendant did not present any evidence to rebut this case, the case of the prosecution. Consequently, he admits the evidence as presented by the prosecution. The prosecution has successfully proved count 2 beyond reasonable doubt. Consequently, the defendant is hereby convicted of count 2. With respect to count 3, The defendant is charged with professing to be a member and leader of indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, a proscribed organization in which thereby committing an offense contrary to and punishable under Section 16 of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2013. Section 16 of the Terrorism and Prevention Amendment Act provides, and I quote, "Any person who is a member or professes to be a member of terrorist group commits an offense and is liable on conviction to imprisonment for a time not less than 21 years. The ingredients of the offense from the above provisions are: 1. The defendant must be a person. The defendant must be a member or professes to be a member of a terrorist group. 3. The terrorist group must have been proscribed as at the time the defendant claims or professes membership of such group. As earlier established, the defendant is a human being. There is no doubt about that. With respect to second ingredient, prosecution has led evidence showing that the defendant was not just a member, but he was the leader of a terrorist organization known as Indigenous People of Biafra. Indeed, in the broadcast of 16th May 2021, as contained in Exhibit PWW, the defendant, in the beginning of the clip, stated this, and I quote, "My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of Indigenous People of Biafra and director of Radio Biafra Television. I will remain a loyal servant of the people," unquote. He further stated around 51 minutes mark into the video, "If God is on our side, which I know he is, the army of Nigeria will die in Biafra land. Everybody will die. I will be the one leading it. By God's grace, everything called Nigeria will perish in Biafra land. The world must be prepared for what is to come," unquote. In several other broadcasts, the defendant admitted being the leader of indigenous people of Biafra. There is no fact before this court showing that the defendant is not member and in fact leader of the said group. The defendant, from the evidence before this court, also possessed power to order the coordinator of IPOB in a broadcast dated 11th May 2021 in Exhibit PWW. The defendant, while commenting on the meeting of Southern governors held in Asaba, stated around 35 minutes to the exhibits, while played, and I quote, "Concerning the lockdown announced yesterday, I urge all people of Biafra and all those in Biafra land to disobey the lockdown order given by the Zoological Republic of Nigeria. The reason is because they want to use the dead of the night to move their fighters into our forest, because we have defeated their foot soldiers. Mighty Allah, we must resist this stupid lockdown, and it will not hold in Biafra. I am calling on all the coordinators, deputy coordinator of ESN, and IPOB not to sleep in their houses today, but to look for somewhere else to stay, because now we are in the trenches. Now you will know what is freedom fighting for. It is not comfortable. It is not rosy. Do not sleep at home. Do not sleep at home. Change your phone and even your phone itself." The defendant no doubt belongs to the group and belongs to the professing to be a member. He is a leader of the group with the influence of commanding the coordinators of the group. Not only IPOB, but even Eastern Security Network, which is the armed wing of IPOB. In a broadcast of 12th December 2020, the defendant made an announcement in inaugurating the military group known as Eastern Security Network, which is the armed wing of the indigenous people of Biafra. He stated, and I quote, "We have cowards, spine-land idiots as governors. They have given over our land to the Janjaweed to occupy in perpetuity. This very generation, this very IPOB will not tolerate it. Not now, not tomorrow, not forever. We will not perish and die than to allow our land to be taken over by the Janjaweed. This is a warning to all the governors who are conspiring due to one political consideration to give our land to infidel and blood-sucking demons from this time. It cannot happen, not under our watch. We are being told that some of these invaders come from Senegambia, from Niger Republic, and some from Chad, according to Governor of Katsina State, El-Rufai. Therefore, we are setting up the Eastern Security Network to combat the excesses of these vagabonds, criminals from crossing the Jail along the same line as Amotekun, the one set up by Metiala. What we are launching before the world today, not a Biafra army, and we will let the world know when the army is to march. But for our present purposes, we are setting it up to defend our land, Biafra against Miranda. From the Shahid, to be precise, in the coming days, you shall see them in their uniform, performing the critical issue of providing security for our land, unquote. The defendants who was visibly agitated continue in the broadcast by stating, no governor in the Southeast and South-South have been able to form a security outfit. Therefore, IPOB must defend our land to the very last blood. We shall not stop, not now, not tomorrow, not forever, until our land is get rid of 20 of these Fulani terrorists. In the third video broadcast, there was a side video of the man of the Eastern Security Network dressed in black.
For a tasty meal, do not compromise. Choose gold.
Use Terra Gold for the rich, consistent taste your loved ones crave for. Good for soups, stews, and jollof. Terra Gold. One cube, endless possibilities.
I take judicial notice of under Section 122, Evidence Act of the order made by my learned brother Nyako J in suit number FAC/ABJ/CS/A71/2017 between Attorney General of the Federation versus Indigenous People of Biafra, today dated 20th September 2017, wherein the activities of Indigenous People of Biafra were prescribed. The said order crystallized into PWJ, which is the Federal Republic of Nigeria Official Gazette number 99 in volume 104, dated 20th September 2017, titled Terrorism Prevention Order number Terrorism Prevention Order of 2017. The Gazette reads, and I quote, Notice is hereby given that by the order of Federal High Court in suit number FAC/ABJ/CS/A71/2017, dated 20th September 2017, as per the schedule to this notice, the activities of Indigenous People of Biafra are declared terrorist and illegal in any part of the country, Nigeria, especially in the Southeast, South-South region of Nigeria, as prescribed pursuant to Section 2 of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2011 as amended. 2. Consequently, the general public is hereby warned that any person or group of persons participating in any manner whatsoever in any form of activities involving or concerning the prosecution of the collective intention or otherwise of the said group will be violating the provision of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2011 as amended and liable to the import of the above is that beginning from the commencement date of 20 December 2017, any person claiming to be a member of IPOB commits a terrorist act. The defendant, by his broadcast of 11th May 2021, 12th December 2020, professed to be a member of proscribed group. Thus, he is in breach of Section 16(1) of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013. Consequently, he is hereby convicted of count 3. On count 4 and 5, which are closely related, the defendant is charged with inciting members of the public in Nigeria to hurt and kill Nigeria security personnel and their family members, thereby committing offence under Section 1, Sub 2H of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013. The section provides as follows: any person or body corporate knowingly in or outside Nigeria, direct or indirectly, willingly incites, promises, or induces any other person by any means whatsoever to commit the act of terrorism or any of the offences referred to in the act, commits an offence under the act and is liable to conviction to maximum of death sentence. The ingredients of the offence which the prosecution must establish beyond reasonable doubt are: 1. The defendant must be person or body corporate. 2. The defendant must have directly or indirectly incite, promise, or induced other persons by any means whatsoever to commit the terrorism act. 3. The defendant must have directly or indirectly incited, promised, or induced other persons by any means whatsoever to commit the terrorist act willingly or knowingly. The defendants have been established to be a human being by the prosecution. For the second ingredient, it is important to understand what incitement means. According to the Supreme Court per Nikitobi DSC of blessed memory in CASA and the state citation supplied, hold and I quote, an encouragement here means an act of making someone to feel brave or confident enough to do something by giving active approval in support of the crime. Incitement also have the element of encouragement. By incitement, the person is provoked by a strong passion or feeling to commit an offense. The word set is a word of quite a number of synonyms. The two words set on connotes the resemblance of causing to attack or chase, like one may be say the fisherman prepare the bait to set on the fish. It also has the element of antagonism. And instigation, the act of instigating, means something happened by the actions or conduct of a person who is the starter. By the act of instigation, the co-accused is propelled or gingered to commit an offense, unquote. Likewise, the online Oxford Dictionary defines incitement as follows: the action of provoking unlawful behavior, urging someone to behave unlawfully, unquote. The Cambridge Dictionary also defines incitement as follows, and I quote: the act of encouraging someone to do or to feel something unpleasant or violent, unquote. Drawing from the above definitions, the incitements involve provoking or instigating people to do an unlawful act, and in their instant terrorist acts. The prosecution has led evidence showing that the defendants made broadcasts inciting public to take up arms against the security personnel in Nigeria to kill them and their family members. The broadcast of 24th day of October 2020, as contained in the PWW, the defendants said, and I quote, Radio Biafra is now in the hand of the enemy of our freedom. I don't know how much they paid for it, but I know that Britain spent over 4.8 billion a few days ago to suppress what is happening. That is what they have done. I told you a while back that Britain was now in charge of what is happening in the zoo, and you thought that I was joking. They have now come with their clamp down, but they are now going, they are not going to succeed. Radio Biafra belongs to us, but why is it not playing out our program right now, unquote. The defendant also stated, I am telling you, you people to go to the bush, security convoy. You attack them. Whenever you see a police convoy, attack them. They are human beings and they also bleed. Any person with a police uniform or any army in any army uniform is an enemy of the people, unquote. Around 57 minutes to this video marked, the defendant stated, and I quote, they came to Tinubu. It is surprised that after British High Commissioner came to Tinubu, they opened fire on protesters in Lagos. You should know, you should not by chalk, that the woman is a devil, a big devil. She too will get a comeuppance, unquote. The defendant was referring to Katrina Link, the British High Commissioner at that time. The defendant also said, from what will happen in Aba between to places like Aba, like toll gates and other parts of Lagos, Ibadan, Abuja, Jos, Abia State, even one Jacob called from Nasarawa State. And the defendants kept giving orders for these callers and other listeners to kill every police and soldiers. The defendant even told the people how to build an improvised bomb. He asked them to go to October 2021. The defendant, while inciting his listener to attack the relative or security personnel, stated, and I quote, that every commander they have given his name, find his children. I want to get him in trouble. When they take me to court and ask why I said such thing, I will tell them why. Find the commander. His name is Ifu Umata. Find his children. Find his children. The commander of those on the ground. Find their children. Very, very important. Find their children. Unquote. If defendants use them against them, manufacture motor tours, cocktail, manufacture bombs to bomb them, unquote. The defendant at about 2 hours, 44 minutes, 35 second mark, while concurring with a caller who informed him of the intention of him, other IPOB members to burn down the Ezima police station, stated, not only one, I want every police station in Aba to be destroyed, completely destroyed, and burn them down. It is an order destroying them completely. Anybody who sees them with police uniform, kill the person. Nigeria wants anarchy. We will give them anarchy, unquote. In another broadcast, the defendant, while responding to a caller, stated this: you people must devise strategy to outfit the army. there are some guns in Edo State right now, as we speak. Use those guns to kill one or two of their army officers. Take their guns and begin to kill other people as well, because they cannot sustain this protest for 3 weeks. There are guns in Edo State already. Kill the army whenever you see them. Take their guns and kill them, unquote. The incitement of the defendant for the public to kill security personnel is quite clear from its big blockers. Not only incitement to kill security officers, the defendant even went as far as inciting the public to destroy all properties of the federal government during the NSAS protest of 20th October 2020. The defendant, in another live video dated 20th October 2020, the defendant, while responding to calls from his foot soldier during the NSAS protest, stated, and I quote, "If you leave the Janjaweed and their agents the way they operate, if you leave them, believe you believe me, you will suffer. That very hotel must be brought down. I did not say set ablaze. It must be demolished. As an example to the rest, if you have not dealt with Tinubu in Lagos, the other will not learn their lesson. Tinubu is an evil man." The hotel referred here to is Oriental Hotel in Lagos, which the defendants alleged belonged to Tinubu. While responding to a caller, the defendant urged his callers to ambush the security forces during the protest and cut them off. He said, and I quote, "Go to the bush. You need to cut them off from the back, ambush them, take their guns from them and kill them. They are animals and not human beings. They may be wearing uniform like police or soldier, but they are animals. Disarm them and kill them. If you allow them to escape, your life is over, and I want Lagos airport to be on flame. Breached the perimeter fence and burn down the Lagos airport. If you have double barrel or pistol, go to the airport and burn it down. Set Muritala Muhammad airport on fire. Set it ablaze right now. You are dealing with animals. Fulani Janjaweed. They do not reason." Unquote. It is important to state that the said hotels and Muritala Muhammad airport and other property in Lagos, they are not in the north, where it seems to hate with passion. Even his own fellow Igbos people have property in Lagos. With destroying the property is said to be agitation for self-determinations. The threats and destruction which follow were corroborated in Exhibit PWD2, which is a pictorial pictures of the assessment of damage done to the Nigerian police alone in the state of southern states. So many of these police stations and even police officers were killed as a result of the incitement by the defendant. Also, Exhibit PWD2A, which is a compilation of death reports and certificates of death of security officers in the report. The number of police officers who were killed was given as 128. Military officers were 37. Other security officers as 10. Number of police stations attacked were 164. INEC facilities destroyed were 9 in number. This clearly shows the extent of damage caused by the defendants through his inciting statements. Another caller called into the program informing the defendant that he was at Oshodi Papa Expressway and that they are killing them. The defendant, annoyed by this information, stated how many police or army did you kill? I don't want to hear that. They are killing you. How many did you kill? Unquote. The caller then responded that they have burnt the Orile police stations and Ilasa police station. The defendant then told the caller not to wave the green, white, green flag of Nigeria, but a blood-stained flag with the color green, white, red. He further responded to another caller by saying, what I want them to do is to set ablaze the United building along Marina on fire. Every federal government property in Lagos should be burnt. That is what is going to be signal to the world that people have had enough. I want every federal government building in Lagos to be on fire. Every federal government vehicle or anything belonging to federal government, burn it. Go to the Muritalem Mwane airport, burn it. How many soldiers do they have? Manufacture your own weapons and ambush them. Unquote. The result of this incitement is the killing of several military officers, police officers, DSS officers. The incitement also led to the destruction of several police stations in Lagos across the southern states of Nigeria. According to PW5, he led a team of officers to investigate the destructions and killing of the security personnel that occurred during the NSAS protest of 20th October 2020, as contained in Exhibit PWD2 and Exhibit PWD2A. The results were quite alarming. The court is mindful not to attribute all the happening during the NSAS protest on the defendant. However, there is no doubt that the incitement by the defendant contributed likely to the killing of security operatives, as well as destruction of public properties. The defendant incited people to destroy property such as the Lassa police station, other police stations, and properties of the government. The evidence before this court shows that the said properties were actually destroyed, such as the Lassa police stations, the High Court of Lagos in Igoshere, as well as BRT buses belonging to Lagos State government in Oyinbo. PW2 also testified that military couples were killed by those incited by the defendants in Olu in Imo State. In addition, PW4 stated that his driver and one of his tactical officers were killed as a result of the incitement. The action of the defendants were clear, as it was aimed to cause anarchy by killing security operatives in Nigeria, which would in turn lead to breakdown of law and order. The defendant had an evil intention to wreak havoc on the people and government of Nigeria. Are all these actions consistent with agitation for self-determination? The answer to this is in negative. His violent outbursts, as well as his instigations of the public to attack and kill security officers in southern Nigeria without provocation, was downright barbaric and without any conscience whatsoever. The defendant did not feel any concern for the family of the officers who were slain. He turned himself to a tyrant who could take life anytime he pleased. Such persons cannot be allowed to remain in society of sane minds. His shocking instigations to kill other human beings was incomprehensible, and this court hereby condemned it. But I must say that the evidence extracted is minute compared to the avalanche of. I must say that evidence extracted in this judgment is minute and very small to the avalanche of evidence and broadcast before these courts by the defendant. The defendant made extremely threatening statements, incited people to violence. The prosecution has successfully discharged his burden of proving counts 4 and 5 beyond reasonable doubt. Consequently, the defendant is hereby convicted of the said counts 4 and 5. Now, count 6. For count 6, the defendant is charged with the offense of making a broadcast received an ad in Nigeria within the jurisdiction of this court, in furtherance of an act of terrorism against the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the people of Nigeria, in which he directed members of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, a proscribed organization, to manufacture bombs, thereby committing an offense punishable under Section 1(2)(f) of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013. Section 1(2)(f) of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2013 provides: A2. A person or body corporate who knowingly in or outside Nigeria, directly or indirectly, willingly, F. assists, facilitates, organizes, or directs the activities of person, organization engaged in any act of terrorism. The ingredients of the offense expected to be established are: 1. The defendant must be a person or body corporate. 2. The defendant must have assisted, facilitated, organized, or directed the activities of person or organization engaged in terrorist activities. 3. The defendant must have willingly assisted, facilitated, organized, or directed the activities of persons, organizations engaged in terrorist acts. The defendant herein have been established to be a human being. As to the second and third ingredient, the prosecution has led evidence to show that the defendant has directed members of the terrorist organization to build bombs, other explosives in order to attack security operatives. Indeed, in furtherance of his terrorist actions and following the incitement of persons to kill defendant security operative, the defendant also directed his members to build explosive devices, particularly motorford cocktail. At about 1 hour, 30 minutes, 36 seconds of the broadcast of 20th October 2020, as contained in Exhibit PWW, the defendant, while responding to a caller about NSAS protest, stated, and I quote, "Now, this night, I want graduates to go to work, graduates of chemical engineering, those who were born as engineers, manufacture any ordnance you can, because they are coming to kill you anyway, regardless of what you do. Go and manufacture any ordnance. I am calling on the youth in the middle belt, and I want any bridge that they can use to reinforce to be destroyed. They are going to come from the middle belt. This night, we have engineers everywhere, people who are intelligent. Go back now and give us your own version of motorford cocktail. We must destroy them before they destroy us. Every youth tonight, anybody with a police uniform, anywhere, especially in Aba, in Lagos, once you have police uniform or any army uniform, that person is your enemy. Attack them, because if you don't, they will kill you. If you are a graduate of physics or chemistry, no sleep for you tonight. Go and manufacture something to destroy the police and every army police position starting from this night." Unquote. During the said broadcast, while responding to a caller named Jacob from Nasarawa State, the defendant even told the people how to build an improvised bomb. He asked them to go to a filling station to get fuel in a bottle, put a rag in it, that then they should set the rag aflame and hurl it at a soldier. A Molotov cocktail, according to Wikipedia.com, that I accessed at 1 a.m. on 20th November 2025 is a hand-drawn incendiary weapon consisting of a fragile container filled with flammable substances, equipped with a fuse. In use, the fuse attached to the container is lit, and the weapon is thrown, scattering on impact. Unquote. The online Britannica Dictionary defines Molotov cocktails as a crude bomb, typically consisting of bottle filled with inflammable liquids and a wick that is ignited before throwing, unquote. Applying the above definition, the directive of the defendant to members of the group to build improvised bombs such as Molotov cocktail is indeed a terrorist act. A Molotov cocktail is capable of causing explosions, damage like any other bombs, which aim is to cause destruction. This directive, like other directive, is a manifestation of anarchy-minded of the defendant, which is set out to express through his Biafra radio, which he claimed to be the founder and director. The defendant, through the Radio Biafra platform, carried out so many terrorist attacks, which led to the destruction of lives and property in Nigeria. The defendant is not only confirmed to local terrorists, but I hold without hesitation that he is an international terrorist, flowing from his threats to attack British High Commission against the British High Commissioner to Nigeria at the time, Catherine Lyons, a known woman of peace. In a broadcast of 21st October 2020, the defendant stated thus, and I quote, "Radio Biafra is now in the hand of the enemy of our freedom. I don't know how much they paid for it, but I know that Britain spent about 4.8 billion a few days ago to suppress what is happening. That is what they have done. I told you a while back that Britain was now in charge of what is happening in the zoo, and you thought that it was a joke. It's not playing our program right now," unquote. The defendant also stated, "I am telling you people to go to the bush. Wherever you see a military convoy, you attack them. Whenever you see a police convoy, attack them. They are human beings, and they also bleed. Any person with a police uniform or any army uniform is your enemy." Around 57 minutes mark into that video, the defendant directed his threat at Catherine Lyons, the British High Commissioner. He stated, and I quote, "They came to Tinubu. It is a surprise that after the British Commissioner came to Tinubu, they opened fire on protesters in Lagos. You should not be shocked. The woman is demon, a big demon. She too will go come repentance." Around 1 hour, 8 minutes, 35 second mark, the defendant also stated, and I quote, the same thing that Britain did to Biafra in what they are doing to us now, media blackout. Do you want the world to report this issue? Take over the British High Commission. That is all. Take over the consulate in Lagos. Take over the one in Abuja. Every newspaper in the world will report it in the morning. If you march on the British High Commission in morning, front pages in the world will carry it, and the world will ask why is British Commission in Abuja and Lagos under occupation by Nigerian youth. Then it is over. I'm giving you a master strategy of how you should be done. In a formation of 3 lines, there is something I want you to do. I'm announcing it on air so you understand. People should go to every weather shop around you. You know those who build bullet-proof door. I don't care how much it costs. We will pay. Everybody who is a welder, who builds bulletproof, people should take those doors and put nails in front of them and stand in front of protesters so that bullets cannot go through. Push the door, get the weapons, and deal with them. when you are marching to the British High Commission tomorrow, form 3 lines. They will have the army surrounding them. They will send a cable to London that British High Commission in Lagos is under attack. They will be forced to release it. Then the whole world will know that a revolution is going on. Without that, you cannot succeed, unquote. Even recently, in this courtroom, on the 7th day of November 2025, when the matter came up before this court, the court wondered the kind of malice and hatred which the defendant had for Britain. I will produce same part of the proceedings of that day hereunto. Defendant, he says, there are issues at play which my Lord has not able to overcome, which even the prosecution has not even attempted to overcome. My Lord, are you asking me to go into the doors to defend myself on a non-existing law? If you can state that for the record, my Lord, I will be most grateful to try me or ask me to enter my defense where no law exists.